Hello everyone, welcome to Fullmoon Movies. There's something quietly powerful about stories where the hero doesn't conquer by force, but by the sheer will to survive, to be heard and to be remembered. Geronimo, an American legend released in 1983, tells such a story. It's not a traditional western with loud shootouts and dusty barroom brawls. Instead, it's a film that lingers on silence, on faces, and on weight of history, pressing down on those who refuse to vanish quietly. Wes Studi takes on the role of Geronimo with remarkable restraint. He doesn't shout, he doesn't overreach, he holds the screen with dignity and controlled intensity. As the legendary Apache leader, Studi brings both strength and sorrow to a man who has lost almost everything and yet still refuses to surrender his pride. His portrayal strips away the myths and instead gives us a figure who is spiritual, clever, and dangerously underestimated. You can see it in his stillness, that quiet resistance, the knowledge, and his struggle isn't just about land or survival, but about the memory of a people pushed to the edge of an erasure. The story isn't just about Geronimo, though. Gene Hackman plays General Crook, a man caught in his own moral compromise. He's a military leader who understands the injustice being done but lacks the will to stop it. Robert Duvall, as the seasoned scout Al-Ziba, adds humanity and bitter wisdom to the narrative, and Jason Patric, as the young idealistic Lieutenant Charles Gatewood, serves as a lens for the audience, someone who begins believing in the system but slowly realizes the price of obedience. It's through Gatewood that we see how admiration and guilt can coexist, especially when you're face to face with a man like Geronimo. Director Walter Hill takes his time with the pacing, allowing the landscape to breathe. The desert doesn't just look harsh, it feels eternal. The cinematography by Lloyd Ahern captures this beautifully with sweeping vistas of New Mexico and Arizona that gives the film both a poetic and lovely tone. The framing is classic but is often quiet, lingering long enough to remind us that the land itself is a character in this story, something sacred and something taken. The production design is detailed without feeling over-decorated. The military outposts, the Apache camps, the uniforms and the weapons, everything feels grounded in realism, not theatricality. Ry Cooder's score weaves itself into the story rather than standing out. His use of sparse guitar and atmospheric cues echoes the isolation and emotional gravity of the narrative rather than trying to dramatize it. There are no bombastic cues here, only the soft hum of something lost and never reclaimed. At its release, Geronimo, an American legend, was met with mixed reviews. Some critics felt it was too slow, too quiet, or lacking in action. It grossed just under 18 million at the box office, a disappointing return on its 35 million budget. But to call it a failure is a misunderstand what the film was trying to do. So it wasn't just chasing spectacle, it was chasing understanding. And that's what makes it important. The common critic was that the story felt too meditative or that narrative didn't give enough backstory to Geronimo himself. But perhaps that's the point. Geronimo was already shaped by history's silence. The film doesn't try to explain him, it simply lets him exist dignified and wounded. Looking back now, the film holds a quiet relevance. In today's cinematic landscape where indigenous characters are still often sidelined or romanticized, Geronimo still remains one of the few Hollywood films that attempts, even imperfectly, to give voice to resistance without glossing over the trauma. Wes Studi's performance is especially valuable because it doesn't try to win over the audience. It just speaks the truth of the character. If you are collecting films not just for entertainment but for reflection, Geronimo, an American legend, deserves a place. While there's no 4K edition yet widely available, which I think it should, the Blu-ray still does justice to the film's photography with crisp desert tones and a clean transfer that highlights the natural light used in many scenes. Audio is delivered in Dolby Digital Surround, which is effective during more atmospheric stretches and respectful during dialogue-heavy moments. The Blu-ray doesn't come with extensive bonus features, which is a missed opportunity, but for what it offers is the film itself, uninterrupted, honest, and still quietly stirring. Geronimo may not be a legend in box office terms, but a piece of cinematic art. It has the stillness of a story that waits patiently to be rediscovered. Now, this movie is a must watch.